What are we going to do without? Hi guys, welcome back to Yangyang Talk. I'm Yangyang. Hi, I'm Yinyin. In the previous videos, we talked about how the CCP or the Chinese Communist Party bullied Australia because of its support of an investigation into the source of coronavirus. The CCP thinks it is a giant. Now another giant is lining up for a fight with Australia. A tech giant. Who's that? In this video, I'm going to call it G. You should know why I'm doing that here. So what does G do? G recently threatened to disable its search engine in Australia if the government passed law requiring tech companies to pay media companies for news content that appears in searches or is shared on their platforms. So does that mean that G might leave Australia like it left China in 2010? Well, this is a different situation. Back then, G had to leave because the CCP wanted to censor search results for just Chinese users in line with CCP dogma. In fact, G was driven out of China by numerous hacking attacks traced back to CCP. So why is the Australian government introducing this law targeting G? Well, this law is not just targeting G. It targets all tech corporations. But G's reaction has been the loudest, followed by F. Oh, these tech giants have a bad attitude. So, on one side, the Australian government wants fair payments to news organizations, which have seen their print advertising revenues fall significantly over the past 15 years, especially during COVID-19 pandemic. In contrast, digital advertising on major platforms like G and F has risen dramatically over the same time. What's G's response? G says the law fundamentally breaks how search engines work. What does that actually mean? G argued it should not pay to connect people to websites, and if it complies with the law, important updates would be delayed, operating costs would increase, and news publishers would require special treatment. And the final argument is that everyone on this planet will be unhappy. Despite the strong responses, I think it's true that we rely on G a lot. Yes, that's what they're saying. In other words, it's better stick to the way things are and no other model could possibly work. Okay. First up, let's acknowledge the benefits of the way G currently operates. People enjoy the free access to G's search engine, to advertise their business, to use G Maps, and its translation service. I see the biggest benefit here is services are free and everyone is happy. But there is no free lunch. All of us are paying a price. What do you mean? Now let's talk about the not so beneficial things about G. Fairy tales are not just for kids. They were actually written to also teach adults a lesson. Like the story of Hansel and Gretel. The witch fed the kids with free meals because she wanted them to gain weight to be eaten. G and other tech giants offer free services because they want us to be dependent on their content. They want to be monopoly gatekeepers. G's already achieved this goal, hasn't it? Yes, no other companies with innovative business models can compete with G. Over 90% of Australians and more than half of people around the world use G. I know G is also paying other tech giants such as Apple, Samsung, AT&T, and Amazon to position G as the default search engine on their platforms. Yes, all of these tech giants, together, they have evolved into a global powerhouse, with outsized influence over commerce, speech, media, and advertising. So what are the consequences? The consequences are obvious. Like Hansel and Gretel, first, they get free meals, then no freedom and no choices. We have no visibility as to the quality of the search results. Our data privacy is reduced, and access to G's competitors is denied. So you are saying that we're forced to accept G's policies, privacy practices, and use of our personal data? Yes. Advertisers have to pay a higher fee to G's search advertising and general search text advertising monopolies. If G doesn't like your content, they can decline you to advertise on their platforms. But as advertisers, you need to pay. But there's an argument that the more a company can pay, the more likely it will get a prized spot in G's search results. And because of the monopoly, small business needs to compete with big companies, but many of them cannot afford the fee to get a decent exposure. Oh, and the problem for web publishers and websites is that G can easily block their access to people if G doesn't like them. It sounds like a type of censorship. Yes, I'll show you something. I want to try whether G gives me different search results from other search engines. I read Epoch Times a lot. It is America's fast-growing multi-language independent news media. So I put the search words as COVID-19 Epoch Times. And by putting these words, so the normal search results should include many reports and articles from the website of Epoch Times regarding COVID-19. And this is what G lists for me. We can see there's no article about COVID-19 reported by Epoch Times, but all criticism against Epoch Times by the mainstream media. EP gives me this result. We can see the first 7 results are reports from Epoch Times. Then I tried DuckDuckGo. Similar to EP, the first 8 results are articles from Epoch Times. And then Yahoo, a whole first page are articles from Epoch Times. Then I tried Bing. The results are the same with Yahoo. Interesting, isn't it? That's my little experiment. According to research, G-Search has blacklisted numerous major conservative websites by removing them from results. The websites include Breitbart, The Daily Caller, Infowars, Human Events, and Red State. I have heard none of those websites. Well, that's because of the censorship. Does absolute power corrupt absolutely? If the internet is no longer unbiased, if a giant monopolist decides what to feed us and what not, as time goes by, we would end up not making the right decision, but a decision based on G's preferences. Like the current control of the Chinese people in mainland China by the CCP. In this way, anyone can use G and other tech giants as tools to control our minds. Yes, and it's already going that way. Let me tell you something. G is not the righteous G of 2010 anymore. I don't know what happened to it. What do you think happened? In August 2018, G was working on a secret prototype of a new censored Chinese search engine called Project Dragonfly. G said it stopped the program, but who really knows? But if they can censor information, they can also lie. G also has a number of tech research projects going on in China. Many of them are focused on artificial intelligence, including military applications. So G is helping Communist China to increase its military capacity. A Chinese newspaper bragged that researchers working with G developed a kind of target selection assistance technology which allows fighter pilots or air defense missile operators to select fast-moving targets quickly and accurately using a touch screen. And that the Chinese military's most advanced stealth fighter jet, the J-20, has the opportunity to adopt this new technology. But G has denied that. Not a surprise, G also works with China's Tsinghua University to advance the military's AI capacities. Is there any evidence to prove that? The Tsinghua Lab collaboration was announced at a joint G-Tsinghua symposium held in Beijing on June 28, 2018. Li Feifei, then a vice president at G-Cloud, was in attendance. She was hired by G in November 2016 to lead a new AI research unit. So G is helping a professional bully, the CCP, to improve its fighting capacity. Yes, maybe G does it for money or for its current values. Who knows? The CCP has plenty of money, and before you know it, there's a deal. Dictators always have lots of money. And G is now turning around to threaten Australia. Yes, I think G is bullying Australia. In G's genuine monopoly statement, they are prepared to punish the whole of the country. Like what a senator said, this is a company that hardly pays any tax in Australia. It comes into the parliament, sits in a Senate inquiry, and demands the Senate does what they want, or game over. So if G left Australia, what can we do? Liberal Senator Andrew Bragg said, G does not own the internet. There will be innovation. If organizations want to leave Australia, that's a matter for them. The sun will rise the next day. But small business owners and publishers would be put at a disadvantage. It's similar to when CCP bullies Australia. Some critics say if Australia does not back down, the trade restriction will destroy Australia. True, sometimes there's no room to back down and the bully keeps pushing. Yes, we need to change the way we use internet and to develop a free internet environment in which no tech giants can bully us. I see. We can start to use other search engines. Yes, in 2018, a writer for Wired magazine spent 3 months using Bing exclusively and concluded that it worked fine most of the time. But it would be so inconvenient initially. However, things need to be changed. We may also need to start paying for certain services to avoid being dictated to. I see. Slowly, the online environment will be much more healthy and fair to achieve this. All of us need to put some effort in. Like me, I start to use the search engine EP to do my research, and it leads me to many results that are hidden in Google search. It's like an open world out of the walls. It says here that not just Australia, USA and many other countries have started to realize the side effects of the monopolization by the tech giants. Exactly. Australian Senator Rex Patrick told G, it's going to go worldwide. Are you going to pull out of every market? Are you? I believe people will keep developing new search engines for us, probably better quality, which could fill the gap. Remember, the Earth remains rotating, no matter whether anyone is there or not. I know, many of these social reforms would require the majority of us to realize that things need to be changed. But it's pathetic that you don't like G, but you're still using its service. I don't know how to answer the question. What do you think? Please also leave your comments below. Thanks for watching my video. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.